Hi all. Right, welcome back. DD at Saipan. This is going to be part 19. I'm getting a lot in just now. Um, uh, yeah, probably still can get a bit more in. However, Joe's going to have to hurry up and answer a couple of important questions if I'm going to continue. Well, in particular, I need to know if I can continue and points wise and whatever. And is this the red line? Do we need 15 points? Do we need 24 points? Or is this the line? I mean, did you re-ask the question again, Martin? Maybe we need to do that. But then again, he does seem to have went quiet the last few days, so whether other important things happening in his life, that's fair enough. But if I'm going to continue, I need to know these. And yeah, Martin commented on part 15, and I think he was commented on that when I'm talking about this impossible fact of getting 24, and I do say units, and I don't mean it that way, Martin. Yeah, but you're right in the fact that if I've said we need 24 units adjacent to that red line, I didn't mean it that way. I was quite understanding that the fact it's not units, it's actual hexes. But like Martin says, if I mention units, so you could have a pile of 4 units in there thinking you're getting 4 points. Well, that's not. You'd only get 1 point, obviously. So it is actual hexes. And he's certainly not brought anything more to light to say that it is possible. I think he tends to agree with the fact that that is impossible. He's not uploaded his image of where he's at yet, but I get the feeling he's round about the same place as me, maybe. Because he asked the question that I was, again, unless he's watching my video, but I think he's playing the game himself as well, so I think it's probably from his own point of view, but maybe he's just moved on to Game Turn 3 recently as well. And he was asking about this, what this means. And I replied to him without really thinking that I think I'd concluded that these were to deploy for that scenario. But he came back and rightly said, we just looked at this last night, and rightly said that it talks about within the setup, and I've read this before, 18.3.2, I want to say, yeah. It says, one of the bullets 3, Japanese units from all Scenario 2 groups not placed on the map, and those listed as arriving in Game Turn 3 in the reserve display are placed face down in the Japanese reserve units pool. And I remember saying that. I think initially that was my thinking, Martin. But yeah, I kind of jumped in. I didn't have the book in front of me, and I seen your question. I thought, well, I was just looking at that last night, and then did I not conclude it was because they would be placed in these hexes and set up? Could it be one of these things that's been in development again, Martin, and then they've changed their mind? Because Martin's wondering if these need to be placed in a different reserve pool randomly, because they've got different instructions about where they're placed. But then, how do you then draw them? You're only going to get... There's nothing that specifically says draw a reserve from the Game Turn 3 elite selection and place it in one of its hex. I don't think there is anyway. If there was, and if there was separate boxes, then maybe, and then you follow the instructions, you have them all randomly. But there's nothing that I've read that says that when you're placing a reserve, in fact, I just read it all last night, and it doesn't even talk about how you place reserves from the actual action. What was it we'd done? Was it reinforce? The reinforce action. It just talks about reinforcements placed triggered by a reinforcement event, and I can't see anything else. It's not to say it's not there, but So we're a bit. I suppose we're still baffled. Like I said to Martin, I just decided then to chuck them all in a cup, and we've already drawn one already. But I was confused slightly about the fact that we could draw this tank. But however, and then I said to myself, well, okay, but you could draw a tank. But does it seem right? These are all elite, but you see the strength of these guys, they're all 4s. And I think that's the relevance to where they're placed, so that you're a bit further into the game maybe, or mean, where we placed our reinforcement, you know, it was down here in this yellow position. You know, that could be one of the elite 4-strength units. I mean, are we ready for that? Well, maybe we are. Maybe we are. Maybe we're ready to tackle that now. The fact that it is game turn 3, we've got quite a lot of units on the board. But yeah, what does all that mean? What does that talk about? Unless, again, like, maybe it's something that they were going to do in development, Martin, and then, I don't know, it's not come to anything. But if it is, it's not right. It doesn't explain it, does it? Okay. Anything more? Yeah, I think Martin had asked something else as well. What was it? Yeah, again, it was something that was on my mind. Again, whether Martin's taken this from my playthrough or experiencing it himself. Maybe a bit of both as well, I don't know. But certainly questions that need answered. The fact that we've got 3 tanks over this side from 2nd Marine Division. And I was talking about the fact that until we find out how these units can be, and this is from HQ Phase Step 4, assign tank and engineer units to US battalions. But, you know, Martin's asking because, I mean, these are from the 2nd Marine Division. Can they even be assigned to the 4th Division? I mean, you kind of wouldn't think so, but I suppose that was my thinking was that maybe it is still doable. So he's asking about that, and he's saying these units are going to be out of command until they can get back across that way. It might be that these were deployed, you know, in the wrong sort of bit, but I don't know. So again, answers required, and like I say, Joe does seem to have been missing the last 2-3 days. So it's getting close to me getting into turn 4, and then, well, if I don't get some resolve, either make something up myself, if I feel like carrying on. And it's been swaying a little bit. I did enjoy that Japanese fire phase. I have enjoyed some of the US action phase here as well. It's as long as I'm not having to stop and scratch my head and wonder and then go away and ask questions. The terrain situation seems a bit of a muddle to me as well. That could just be a me thing. I think it's that's maybe clearer to others. However, right, let's move on and see if I can finish this US action phase in this part if I stop going on. Well, there's 2 little things that I had took note of and completely forgot about. This one was back in, I want to say it was part 14, I think. And then I had took a note saying 1.5 movement points woods and question mark. And it must have been, but this, what happened was, this HQ right here, this 23rd Marine, 23rd Regimental HQ had been in here. And this is a woods hex, this is a woods hex. Now we concluded that there was no issues with movement under fire, because remember, he can't do that on his own. I think this was disrupted at the time, and I don't think green fires into there. So I was able to move on there and into there. So I moved on 2 hexes. And then I was watching back and I thought, are woods 1.5 movement points? Question mark, because that would be 1.5, 3, fair enough. However, woods are not. Woods are +1. Again, what the +1 part and the other terrain and hex that's in brackets under woods, I don't, somebody needs to kind of straighten me out with that one, what it all means. So this would, in my opinion, the +1 means it's 2, right? So it would be 2, 4 to move into there. So it wouldn't be, and I thought, oh no, because I kind of want that HQ in there. However, at first I thought, can I go round about? But I couldn't, because green was not disrupted, and that would be moving from green to green, because I could have went 1, 2, that would be 4 as well. That didn't work. However, I noticed there's a road between here and here. There's a road between that hex into that woods. So I'm assuming that's only 1 movement point for me to move into there along the road, surely. I mean, it does say that. It says it's got road, 1 leg movement, right? So we're going in the road. However, the road does not go into the woods. However, that would be 1 movement point and then 2 into there. So I'm getting away with that one. So I'm quite glad about that, because that happened a while back. Of course, we're just about to get round to the actions on that. The other one was in part 16, and I'd noted that it didn't look like I took the hit on the engineer unit, which I've got marked there. And true enough, I did not. He was hit and disrupted. I can't remember from what. It was maybe just from fire. And I remember putting him, and I was watching it, and I thought, you don't see it because I paused the camera, but I thought, I don't think I flipped that guy. So there you go. He's flipped. He was still disrupted. We've not done anything with him, because all we're going to be able to do is either preservation, move on, or remove his disruption. Okay, so that was only the two little things to talk about, I think. So let's just get moving on. And yeah, well, we're down this side now. So yeah, initially I'm looking at adjacent Japanese units. Obviously, we've got this one. We've found out that this is horrible, haven't we? Because this is 3 times. We've got this one, and we came through this okay. It would have been better if this yellow position obviously hadn't arrived, but and obviously he had depth as well, and he's in woods. Jings. Right, that one's not in woods, so we should certainly be able to have a go at that. Whether we can have a go at both of them or not. As for this, 3 times the total strength of the unit plus the depth marker. Let's just say we're talking 4. Well, that their strength is going to be 12. So, well, 3 times 12 is 36. So that kind of tells you that. No, sorry. And there's worse to come, because it's into woods. And I don't think there's any, because it's not that this is a terrain type that defends. So you would think, well, hang on, the pillbox is there. Surely you take that defensive strength. Yes, the actual woods is the firepower getting halved coming into it. So I think that's still there as well, which kind of makes that almost impossible to deal with. And in actual fact, which is kind of annoying finding all this out, that the best thing to try and do is to try and remove the pillbox. And remember, this unit's only revealed for the purposes of barrage. We can't close combat that. However, I suppose if we attack it first to have a look, what is the worst that could happen to us? Well, that's maybe worthwhile looking at, I suppose. I dare say there probably is a step loss. AX D plus means Japanese gain 1 depth. Well, they've got the depth. You've got AD, all US units in the hex with the most steps is disrupted. Do not count disrupted units. You've got AX, which is 1 US step is eliminated and 1 unit is disrupted. That's pretty bad. But that actually, we're going to have a Japanese. If we go on an attack, we're going to have a Japanese unit and an unrevealed depth marker, aren't we? However, they then might be revealing the depth marker and recalculating. Depending on what odds we get, though. And well, it's going to be impossible to get 3-1 odds, because like I've just said, okay, we could get lucky and we could have a 1 and a 1, right? We could have a 1 for the unit, 1 for the close combat. The depth marker. That's 2. So that takes it to something more reasonable, like 6 strength. However, we get half going into there, so we need 3 times 6 is 18, but then we need to double that. So we would need 36 strength at that to get the result we require. And you're kind of looking for the... It feels to me that the way to do this, and I think that's why clearly that they have left the possibility to barrage these pillboxes, because they're kind of a bit brutal, is to try and eliminate the pillbox. And where are we? Where's the barrage? There we are. So, and for a result of that, remember when you target a pillbox, you move down a column as well. So did we? We've got tanks landing here, haven't we? So it's unlikely we've got available tanks in here, is it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we've got tank opportunities yet. So it takes you back to the naval gun. Well, hang on, what about the artillery? There's no artillery in that, but well, that's irrelevant. What we're trying to do is get a PB result, a pillbox eliminated result. However, we can't get a 6+. Wait, now I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, so we can't get, as I'm talking about barrage in here, we can't get 6+. The only thing that can achieve this result, in my understanding, is 2 tanks joined together for a total strength of either 8, or if one was reduced, it would be 7. So, and then they need to be stacked together or adjacent, within range, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, and then even if we did have this, we would still be moving down a column to 5. However, that is quite a good chance because you get the fire colour would eliminate the pillbox. The best we can have is a naval gunfire. How much? I think it's only 4 points you can. Does it not tell you here? It does. Largest allowed single barrage is 4 points, yeah, for artillery. Or if it was core artillery, which we've not got yet, it would be 5. So the best we could do for artillery would be use 4 points, which would move us down to there, which doesn't give the pillbox result. So the only thing we can do is use our naval gunfire point, which is on the 5 column, which would knock down the 4 column, and then we would need to get the colour and the symbol. And that's the only way we could get, which is ironically what we drew when we decided not to use it that last time. Well, we could try it, and the thing is, now hang on here. Yeah, because I think I've asked this question in the past. If we barrage and if we don't hit, then can we still attack? And I'm pretty sure the answer to that is no. If you've made a barrage attempt, then you can then not attack. So that's one of the ones you've got to make your mind up. As long as we do get it disrupted, now just to get disrupted from that column, we'd only need the symbol or the colour. So, and we've only got 1 naval gunfire point. We could potentially follow up with an airstrike point, I suppose. An airstrike barrage if... I've got an LVTA in there actually. But see, LVTA would be there, 2 strength, and it would knock down to there. So if we use that to attempt barrage, we would need the colour and the symbol just to disrupt it. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm going to just get things going and I'm going to give this a go. So we need to be in the field of fire. We are. We need to have a radio or it be in command. Not quite sure why he's not on top there, but maybe there was a reason for... I think it was the fact that was a circle maybe at the time. Anyway, we need to be in command or have a radio. We've got both. We've got radio. It's radio or in command of a regimental HQ, is it no? Or is that just for artillery, maybe? I think it is. Yeah, so this is naval gunfire. At least one attacking infantry unit has a radio or is in command range of a regimental HQ. Well, we've got both there. And it doesn't actually talk about them being in the field of fire there, but I'm sure, I mean, they do have to be. Maybe that is when you go look at the barrage bit. I'm looking back at, yeah, I'm sure conducting a barrage, units available to barrage position, or unit of all requirements for tank and artillery in 8.1 are satisfied. Again, it's the same for airstrike and naval gunfire. If they're met, draw a fire card and refer to the table. I can't find where it says, but I know we do have to be in the field of fire. Yeah, I can't see where I'm looking for it there, but I know it's there somewhere. Which is fine. Yeah, because I asked Martin about that as well, because we were like wondering. I was kind of wondering how that. I didn't think that Hex Encounter guy. He made barrage attempts on this and this, but I didn't think that was legal. I thought you would need to be in its field of fire, and that is the case. So, okay, so let's do this. So the symbol that we need for naval gunfire is a triangle. And that's based on just the results on the chart. Artillery is a diamond, naval gunfire is a triangle, and airstrike's a circle. So I'm going to use my naval gunfire point. That's just got none left. Remember, each day we gain one of each, I think, and there's a chance of events turning up as well, I think. So we're going to use our naval gunfire, which is a strength of 5. But it gets knocked down to the 4 column. So I'm going to draw a card, and we'll disrupt the position on the colour, which is red. So a red, or for the naval gunfire triangle, red or a triangle will disrupt it. However, what we really want to see is a red triangle, because not only will we disrupt it, we'll destroy the pillbox. So that's what we want, right? Red triangle, I at least want to see one of them. So here we go. Well, we got the red. So, not to be. Yeah, I think that my chance was that last action phase when I just should have went for it. And it was foolish of me to look at the discard pile. Because that's what put me off. And I realised I could have just went for that and then still disrupt that and still had probably, well, a good chance of disrupting it if not eliminating it. But right, so we don't get the pillbox, so at least it's disrupted. Now we can't attack it, but you can see the amount of strength that you're going to need. I suppose the good thing is that if we no, because even attacking it while it's disrupted, like next turn, if it stays disrupted, it doesn't really change anything, does it? Not really, no. That's a tough nut to crack, that then, unless we're missing something. But now I've got all these units round about this, and yeah. But I don't think I wouldn't have the force to do it, because remember, you're only one even if I got a full battalion attacking it and they were full strength, that'd be 7, 14, 21, and then 24 for the HQ. So 24 there, that's still not, I'm saying we would need 32 if there were both ones in there to get the result. So you're clearly going to have to take more risks and possibly accept that you're going to get units disrupted just to have a look at this, find out what you then need, and maybe even decide that, you know what, let's get in there close combat wise, and that's probably how you have to do it. Well, that's me no naval gunfire points left now anyway, so next turn I'm going to probably have to have attack at that, I think. Right, okay. Okay, I might as well stay down here and see what we're going to do with these. Well, I've had a look in both these. The companies, one of the companies from the battalion took the hit from the yellow position when it appeared, one each. So they're hit and disrupted. And unfortunately, the other company in the battalion of each that we landed in there got hit through landing. So both these units both companies are reduced, so they're 5 strength, can't fire at range. So it looks like this is probably an unlikely target because this is into the woods. I've got 5 plus 3, I've got 8 strength, that's all I can get. I can't get help from anybody else. Now that's not true, Grant. Remember your artillery then. Yes, let's keep that in mind. Let's just see if we might be able to use some of that. So, okay, I'll come back to that then, because these couldn't help this attack that anyway. So, if anybody's going to attack that, it's going to be this. But they're going to have 8 strength into here. However, they do get a bit of support, because this is 124, this unit. So this is 1st Battalion, so it's the same battalion as that. And it does have range. And that's not in the woods, is it? That's just the sugarcane cultivated, which has no effect on combat. So what did I say? 5, 8. And then this would be halved. So 7 halved rounds up to 4. So that would give us a 12. So I think we probably take that on. What else are we going to do with these guys? Now, is there costs involved there? Yeah, there would be. Using this guy to support the fire would be an action. So I need to watch, just looking about. Let me have a look about, see if I can see any bits that I really need actions. Yeah, I can see the possibility of needing maybe a couple more actions further up there, further north. But nothing major, nothing that I could say. So I'm just going to go for this, I think. So we're going to attack here. Yeah, there's no point holding back, I don't think. So I'm just going to attack with everything here. So I'm going to put these underneath. Like I say, that's going to be... Now, the downside here is we're not going to have... Well, what does the HQ bring along weapon-wise? I never thought about that. Infantry HQs. Oh yeah, it tells you on the chit, doesn't it? Well, it actually misses out the radio, but they have radio. So I suppose he's bringing flamethrower, mortar, and technically this guy from range, infantry with full strength, attacking from non-adjacent hex, brings machine gun, Browning, mortar, and radio. Well, we've already got the radio, already got the mortar, we've already got the Browning, we've already got the machine gun. Oh dear, oh well. So, yeah, we are going to be missing the likes of demolitions. Well, in actual fact, it's only demolitions, from the basic weapons anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to put these underneath and we'll make an attack there. Okay, so that's a 10 from there, and then obviously we're also going to attack with this from the same battalion at range. So he gets half, his 7 becomes a 4. No, it's not a 10, sorry, my bad, because it comes to 12, doesn't it? It's not a full strength infantry unit, it's 5 strength, plus the infantry HQ is 8, plus the 4 from this one at range is 12. Yeah, okay. So we've got 12, no enhancements to him, we're not going into woods or anything like that, so yeah, let's see what we get. Radio and machine gun. Well, that's good, we've got both of them. It's a 2, so that should be fine, shouldn't it? So we've got 12 to 2, yeah, he wasn't getting enhanced. So we've got 6 to 1, so we've got the 3 to 1, we have the weapons, he's going away, however, he's going to withdraw into there, isn't he? That's right, isn't it? It's been a wee while since I've done that, but hang on. Yeah, so he can withdraw, he's an elite unit, he's in communication. So if there are unoccupied Japanese positions within 2 hexes, move the unit to that position. Position does not have to be in communication. So, yeah, he's only got the one choice there. So he is going to just move back. Green fires round about, but it does actually fire in there and there. Oh, and there as well. So, yeah, well, wasn't the greatest, but I suppose, yeah, I mean, what can you do about that? You can't. Oh, maybe you could have, Grant. No, I couldn't. I don't think I could have got in and into that hex, because I would have needed to get something round into that hex to cut off the communication. And in fact, does that not allow communication through it? No, maybe not. I'd need to have looked into that. Just the fact that there's a Japanese unit there, can it not trace through it? I may be thinking of other games there. Yeah, I don't think we couldn't have got in and into there, could we? No, because this is disrupted. No. I just got to accept that. However, no harm done to us, I suppose. But, yeah, the thing is, I'd probably preferred it to be sitting there disrupted, wouldn't I? Rather than up there undisrupted. But, well, at least we can barrage it, you know. Well, if we get into field of fire. Well, this is in field of fire. That's disrupted. However, well, actually, that's not true, because Martin did point out to me recently that it's the position that you're attacking. So this position has not been attacked this turn. It's not or barraged or anything. So you could potentially. Well, I don't think this is in it. Well, it's a ranged infantry unit, but it's disrupted. Grant, what were we trying to achieve there? We were thinking it's in green. Could we call in artillery fire to barrage it? I think that's what I was thinking. If the unit's disrupted. Alright, I was hunting about to try and find the bit where it says you need to be in this field of fire. And this is us looking at units that are eligible to attack and not actual barrage rules. However, conduct a barrage action does reference you to the units are eligible to barrage a position or unit if all the requirements for tanks and artillery in 8.1 are satisfied. So, and then Martin says they are the same sort of conditions to meet. And then, so I should have read into it, because it's tank units, it says must be within range in the field of fire of the target position, and both the following must be true. No more than 2 are attacking, and all attacking tanks are in command. Artillery points must meet all the following conditions. A US unit is in the command range of a regimental HQ and is in the field of fire of the target hex and has radios. However, the naval gunfire or airstrike just says may be included in attack if there is a naval gunfire marker or airstrike marker to expend. Additionally, at least one attacking infantry unit has a radio or is in command range of a regimental HQ CP. That means, well, I'm reading that means that you can use that if you're not in the field of fire. No. See, well, this is where it throws you, because it says at least one attacking infantry unit has a radio. But we're not attacking. Mind you, it does refer you back to that part only talking about artillery and tanks. So, yeah, I get the feeling this is what Martin started asking, wasn't it? And I think he got the answer, you use it like you would artillery points. Well, there you go. If you're using the conditions for artillery points, you need to be in command range of a regimental HQ. And is in the field of fire of target hex and has radios. Well, you know what? I don't know. There's no talk, while I'm reading that, right, it says a US unit is in command range of a regimental HQ. So, what are we looking at here? Where are we? Yeah, this guy, it's just the fact he's disrupted, he's not in command of regimental HQ, however. So, This guy would be. Is he in the field of fire? No. Yeah, so that doesn't work. But I think there's nothing to say that... It doesn't say that it needs to be undisrupted, is what I'm trying to get at, I suppose. So if he was in command, I think we could call in artillery or naval gunfire airstrike. That's something. I'll maybe need to look at Martin's questions regarding that again. Because I think naval gunfire is the same as artillery, but artillery always used to be tougher. You always used to need the HQ beside you, didn't you? So I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe it should just be the same for gunfire airstrike. I mean, when you're attacking, it's different, but when you're barraging, maybe it is the same. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Well, it doesn't look like we can do anything about that anyway. Let's just leave it. Well, what about... Well, actually, we're going to have the same... We're not going to be able to do artillery on that, because we've just read, haven't we? Now, hang on. This is the support and attack. So that's where naval gunfire airstrike changes up. However, if we wanted to use artillery points, he is not in command range of a regimental HQ. Even though he's a battalion HQ, but he's not in command of a regimental HQ. So we cannot use artillery on that to help us. However, we could, if at least one attacking infantry unit has a radio, well, yeah, the HQ in the top's got a radio, even though it doesn't say it on the thing, but we've worked that one out. Oh no, or is in command range of a regimental HQ. I thought it was saying and is in command. Right. So, yeah, we would be able to call in the gun... Well, we've only got an airstrike marker left. And what does that give again? That gives 4 strength. Does that help us at all? So what did I say? We've got 5, 8. Well, that's what we're getting. We get nothing else. And that 8 would be halved to 4. Surely the airstrike doesn't get halved. Going out the woods, does it? No, I think it does. It just says US units attack strength halved into. I suppose if they're in the woods, you're less likely to be hitting things, aren't you? So that would be 8 plus the 4 is 12. So yeah, it'd only be getting half to 6. Is that right? Did that not work out? Yeah, and it's got depth. So 6. If we attacked it, what result could we get there? Well, what we'd be hoping for, if we were attacking with 6, we'd be hoping to get a 2 turned up and have the weapons. Because if we got that, we get the 3 to 1, we get a JDX result, which is all Japanese units disrupted, death markers eliminated. So, you know what? I'm going to go for this. If we get poorer results, we might then be revealing the death marker and we might be in a bit of trouble. I'm just going to do this. What the heck? Let's go for it. Right, so I'm going to attack with this and this. So that's going to be 8 strength. I'll put these down the bottom. Okay, and we're not going to be maxed out on our weapons again because that unit's got a step loss. Had a look, it's got a machine gun. I can't remember what else. We'll have a look if it come when we find out what the unit is. However, what we're going to use is the airstrike. So let's just do it. I don't know, there's maybe better places to use it. So that's us not got any of them left. And we satisfied the conditions to be able to use that. So the airstrike gives you 4, was it? That's 4, isn't it? Oh no, it's 5, Grant. I'm forgetting, I'm remembering we were coming down a column with it, but we're not doing that this time. So Naval gunfire is 6 strength. Airstrike is 5 strength. So what did I say? Well, that might notch us up one, because we're going to have an odd number now. What did I say? We had 8 and 5 is 13. Halved. That might not matter, So halved into the woods is rounded up to 7. So we're attacking with 7. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not making a difference that. Yeah, and the other thing is that airstrike will bring certain weapons. What does it bring? Weapon requirement, that's if airstrike or artillery points are expended, they satisfy all AR and DE requirements. Well, that's quite good because I don't think DE was on that guy either. So we got demolitions and artillery satisfied as well. Right, let's do it. So 7, and remember we're not looking at the depth marker yet. We're just looking at the unit. Okay. Oh Jesus, I forgot this is. This was after we shuffled everything up. Remember how it says we might get an elite 4? Well, there you go. Ouch. The good thing is I think we've got the weapons. However, we're not even doubled that, are we? No. That's brutal. Okay, so Browning and Bazooka. Well, the airstrike didn't bring any of that, so I'm going to have to look. Give me a sec. Oh, I'll tell you what, that was lucky. Look, there's what weapons we've got on the step loss counter. Browning, bazooka and machine gun. So, I think that's good. Although I'm not sure. So, these are the units that are stacked on top of this hex. But I'll just leave this out just now just to find out what's happening. So we've got 7 against 4. So that is not 2 to 1. Right, what is it then? Is it 3 to 2? This is where I get lost. This is where I need some help. Well, it's not 2 to 1. If it had been 2 to 1, and we've got the weapons, this Japanese unit an unrevealed depth marker, then all we would have done is eliminate the depth marker. Not the end of the world, but I think we're going to reveal the depth marker here. What is 3 to 2? How do you work that out? What did I say we've got? 7 to 4. Yeah, that's right, because if we had 6 to 4, that would be 3 to 2, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's grand. 6 to 4 would be 3 to 2. So 7 to 4 is 3 to 2 as well. You would round it down to 3 to 2. Okay, so we've got an R result, which is reveal the depth marker and recalculate the attack. So, yeah. Okay, well, let's do it. I think, as long as we get the weapons, that's going to be the issue. Right, here we go. Oh my word. I'll tell you what. We've got the weapons. The strength is 7. But he's got Browning bazooka was satisfied. We've got flamethrower from this, and we've got machine gun. So we've got 1 to 1 odds, and we've got all the weapons. So just showing you where we're at there. We started on this Japanese units and unrevealed, and we worked it out at 3 to 2. Eventually, once Grant got his head worked out. So that was an R result, which tells you to reveal depth marker and recalculate. We've done that. So we're now looking at Japanese units and revealed depth marker. Our odds are only 1 to 1, but we satisfy we've got all the weapons. We got a JD result. That's pretty good considering what's in that hex. That could have ended up a lot worse. I mean, now we know going into the next attack that all we need is 2 to 1 odds to get a JDX result. Or even 3 to 1 to take them right out. JDX is all Japanese units disrupted, depth marker eliminated. JEX is 1 Japanese unit defeated, depth marker eliminated. So we know what we need now. That was pretty good. Yeah, so I think I'll take that from that, because that's a pretty strong kind of hex, that. But to see that now disrupted, that's a result. So I'll disrupt that, and then I'll put all the stuff back in. Yeah, here. So that goes in there, that goes in there, and then the disrupted stuff will go back on top. Okay, that's that. Now I just remember we had to use an action on that guy underneath, didn't we, for the range attack. So that's one of our actions used. Okay, so moving along here, I might come back down to this, because like I say, it's easier to look at when you've got Japanese units adjacent to you, because you kind of, well, you're just drawn in by, right, how can I attack this and do something about it. So we've got this yellow position, this green, so I think I'm going to look there next. Then after that, I'm going to try and get some units round about this red line, I think. In a safe kind of position, safe as possible. But I think we still do need to take these out. We need a clear communication trace to the beach. So I'm pretty sure this yellow and green position might interfere with that a little bit. Maybe not, because there's nothing. There's a wee bit of a gap there, so we might get, maybe you can't trace through field of fire. I think that's right, isn't it? So let's look at this green and yellow position. Do I have time to carry on? Right, I'll just pause for a wee bit. Okay, been on pause for a while. Oh, just hang on. Let's slide down there a little bit. I was just looking at and remembering that we had all this stuff to land next turn, and I mean, although I think I can preservation move with this disruptedness into here, I think, well, however, does green fire down into there, maybe. Yeah, we're going to have a bit of trouble landing these, I think. I mean, the good thing is that these positions are disrupted, but, blue is not, Anyway, right, yeah, I was on pause there for a bit, but just before I hit record again, I started having a wee look at what I would want to do. Both these are just sugarcane cultivated, so no enhancements and no reductions to our attack strength. We've got a heavy weapons unit here from 23rd Regiment, and in here we've got a full strength 2 battalion from 23rd. There's an LVT with no strength on the bottom, which is no good. LVTA. So, and then we've got 223 there, and yeah, you could use that as well then, Grant, couldn't you? That's 5. Okay, I think my thinking initially at first had been, because this has got a depth marker, obviously, we want a bit more strength on that. So I thought 8. This would be able to attack at range. It's in yellow's field of fire. It's not in green's field of fire. So it can't help with this attack, but it could attack up there. It's from the same regiment. Battalion-wise, it would be the 2nd Battalion. Now, that was 11. No, that would be half, sorry. That would be 8, and that would be half. That would be 10 strength. Is that all I was going to do? Was I not going to chuck some of this in? Yeah, I thought the LVTA, and that would make it 12. But do we really need 7 plus this 5 plus that 2 to attack that hex? Probably not, Grant. So maybe we should put a bit more. Maybe we should put more into this. Okay, I thought I had the things worked out, but turns out I'm not. And then I started thinking, which one do I want to attack first? Okay, we don't know what they are, obviously. This is a withdrawable hex too. So, however, I wouldn't really be that bothered if it withdrew to here. But then again, then you would need something moved into there. It's just I could attack it again with this if it moved to there. However, it would just withdraw back into green again, wouldn't it? Unless we move something into green. But then we would be moving from red to red, if it turned out that way. So Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Come on, Grant, get on with it. Right, I'm going to attack this first. So it's green field of fire. So, like I say, we can't get range help from that. I actually could have got it from that, but okay, so what? This is 5. I mean, is that enough? We're not really bringing all the weapons with us, so that would be 8. Well, why don't we use the LVTA from there then? Turn that into 10. And then we'll use the infantry unit from there, that, and the range from that. Okay, let's do that. So that's just... So that's going to join in and help. That's 2. And are we getting free actions for this? Yeah, the regimental HQ's there. So that was 2. We're going to... See, I was thinking if I hold back that could maybe move into there. I mean, it might end up be doing a... Well, yellow doesn't go into there. So what do I say? 2... Yeah, but then that's only 7 strength. Well, maybe I make the attacks first, Grant. You might find that some of this could maybe possibly move 2 hexes into there, maybe. Yeah, okay. So 2, 5, and another 5 then, to make it 10. Yeah, is that overkill? I mean, sometimes you're seeing that it is becoming overkill, but I don't know. Okay, let's just go with that, right? So that's 10 strength. They did get free actions, right? What we got? Well, it's a 2. See, it's a weight. Yeah, there's nothing I could... Actually, if I had moved, but then that would be movement. Oh, it wouldn't have been. I could have moved something into there, and as long as it was something that controlled that hex wouldn't have been in communication. So it wouldn't have been able to... Oh no, that doesn't matter though, because it says that it withdraws. It doesn't care if the hex is in communication or not. Doesn't need to be in communication. So yeah, we couldn't have avoided that. So I'm pretty sure we have the weapons, because I think DE was on. Yeah, DE is on this guy. So we've got, what did I say, 10 to 2. So yeah, we've got the odds. We've got the guy eliminated, but he's in communication and he's going to withdraw into this hex. Okay. Right, I'm going to think I'm going to have to have a look and see if there's possibility of anything being able to get moved into there. This is going to be going from yellow to yellow, so that tells you we should attack this first. But what if this then withdraws into there? And remember, this position this is a position that's been attacked, so we can't attack that position again. So if he does move into there, we don't get the option of that. Yeah. Right, let's just make the attack first, Grant, and just see what happens, I think. Okay, so the heavy weapons unit is from 23rd Battalion, so that's going to attack with 8 strength, right? And then this is going to join... Well, there's no point that attacking, really. Ooh. That could move in. Okay, well, should we do that now? Should we do that now? Right, I need to remember I've turned that heavy weapons company sideways, because I'm going to attack. Now is it steady fire in here? It is. Give me a sec. So that is steady fire to intense, but it's the weaving of, and that's moving along the railroad as well, so there's no check for, well, if it gets hit, it doesn't get out of the hex, that's a problem. This is movement under fire, right? Right, so movement under fire and weaving a steady field of fire. An on-tank unit spends 1 extra movement point to weave a steady field of fire if accompanied by a tank unit. If unaccompanied by a tank unit. The player then draws 1 fire card. If the card colour matches the colour of the field of fire and the hex the units are moving from, yeah, so it's yellow, and there is a target symbol match, 1 step loss is taken. 1 step loss is taken by a unit that has, with a fire card. Hang on, does it get to move still? Because it wasn't get. Yeah. 7.3.3c. Movement under fire and hit results. Any US units conducting movement under fire that suffer a step loss. And, well, actually, he's only got 1 step anyway, Grant, is he not? Yeah. But if it was to suffer a step loss and or disruption, must remain in the hex from which they started the move. The unit has performed an action. Yeah. So we would need to draw a yellow circle for this to fail. I think this is worth it, isn't it? Because we don't really care too much. And it's going along the railroad. It doesn't need to check for disruption, breakdown. Yeah, and it's getting a free action. It's the regimental HQ's just underneath that counter. And then it protects that hex. Now, hang on. Red wasn't firing into there, was it? No. That is just the yellow. Ooh. Yeah. I was going to say then we would protect, but he's not going to give, he's not going to be able to control this hex, I doubt, is he? Because it would cut off communication to him if we were to control that hex. Yeah, a US unit of either of the following also controls the 6 adjacent hexes around it, even if disrupted. Even if disrupted, that's a good one to remember. Infantry with 3 or 4 steps, or 2 US infantry, so infantry battalion, HQ or engineer units stacked together in any combination. Yeah, there's actually no talk about LVTs or LVTAs anyway. However, I'm wondering if we get a unit into that, if we get that unit into the hex, then we make an attack on that, hopefully just disrupt it. It can't withdraw into there and then after that, possibly get something else into there to control that hex, and then maybe attack this. Alright, sounds good, Grant. Right, so, well, we're going to move that from there to there. So we're drawing a card and we're not wanting a yellow circle. Oh, come on. Seriously? Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. Okay, so he has now had an action. Oh, no, he's eliminated. Sorry, he takes a hit. Yeah, he's gone. That was cruel, wasn't it? Right. Is there anything else that I can maybe... Because that feels like a good kind of move. So I'm wondering if there's anything in this stack that I might be able to achieve the same thing. See, obviously if I had made the attack on this first and disrupted it, then that would have been it would have just strolled into there without checking. But you can see that if I happen to kill this and it's going to withdraw into there. So I'm figuring that was the worst of the 2 situations, but I suppose I kind of didn't get so lucky with the card draw. Well, got very unlucky with the card draw, but then again, maybe Cards are card draws. I've had some lucky ones recently, so you've got to balance out a little bit. Right, let me have a look at that hex there then, I think. See if there's any movement possible. Okay, so the situation, right, these are all in this hex. This is in this hex. I'm just having a look at the terrain. Actually, I need to look, because we're trying to get into this hex from there. So we've got a reduced infantry unit. We've got another LVT as well. Sorry, I just can't see that quite. There we go. So this is all in the blue, B11. This is in the hex in between the two positions. So, well, if we move from there to there, while this is not disrupted, remember we're spending an extra movement point. Yeah, I think we're going to have to attack that yellow position first. Even if we try, let's just say we try moving the LVT. So it's going to go from there to there. I have to do a movement under fire check, and it's going to cost. Yeah, it's going to cost 1 to leave the hex, 2 to enter the woods, and then that's it stuck. Plus, it would then need to check for breakdown in the woods. So, and if it was the actual infantry unit, then we would again it's going to cost 3 movement to move into there, because we're leaving this. Now, if, however, because that's well, hang on, that's sugarcane cultivated. That's 1.5 movement points. Come on, really? And it's 2 movement points into the woods. So even without that extra movement point, it would cost us 2 into the woods and then a 1.5 into there. Well, hold on. We're going along the railway. Yeah, I take that. It says railroad and it's got leg movement 1. Now, railroad is one I can understand that other terrain in hex, because that's a railroad in the woods, that's a railroad in the cultivated, so I get that. I just don't quite understand how woods has other terrain in its hex, unless it means like roads and railroads. Maybe it does. Maybe it's as simple as that. Oops. Okay, so I would be able to make. However, if we've got the 1 to leave the hex, that's not any good, because that's 3 into there, right? If we don't have that, we've got 2 into there, and then we move along the railroad, 1 more into there. So that would work, but we need to disrupt that first. Okay, that's resolved things. So put this back, Grant, and I guess let's give it a try. And that was in here. Right, I'm actually going to have to take a little break at the moment. Oh yeah, an hour. Yeah, we've got a bit to do yet, haven't we? I thought I was going to finish this off. There's not an awful lot more to do, Grant. Yeah, I could probably squeeze this into the next half hour, and then as long as it doesn't get to 2 hours, that's when I start thinking it's silly. Right, I'll just go and pause for a bit. Hang on, right, I'll be back in a bit. Oh, and just before I do, I've got to remember, in fact, no, I'm going to take it back, because I'm going to put that back up top, because initially I started attacking with that guy, hadn't I, and then thought about other things, so I might have forgot, just in case I don't get back in the next few minutes or so. Right, been on pause for quite a bit, so let's see if we can wrap this up. However, while I was on pause, I was watching over the previous video, 18. I've noticed a mistake. Where are we? Come on, Grant. It was attacking this red and blue. Was it attacking the red position? No. Yeah, was this tank? No, was it? Oh, I'm going to have to go and look. Yeah, I don't think I need to look. I think it's here. This was a free action to attack here, and we attack with this 10 strength. Zoom in a little bit now. We're attacking this brown position. We attack with a 10 strength, and and that was still all on top. Disrupted, which was a free action. However, I joined this tank in. I joined this tank into the fight as well to give it the extra 4 strength, and this was not a free action. So this is a bit of a bummer actually, because as you can see, I've spent my 3 actions up there. The last one I went and spent was this, however, so I think I can rewind this one, because I really do need to have spent an action on that. And I can't really rewind this because this was an attack, and well, actually we did need the strength, didn't we? Because that was 10. It would have been 10. Well, I can't do that now anyway. I can't sort of say, well, I'll not attack with that, because that would be kind of unfair. I suppose unless I didn't have the action available at the time, but I did have 1 action left at the time. But that would have been 10 against 2. However, that's a wood, so it would have been 5 against 2. Oh, it would have worked. No, it would have been 5 against 2, so it would only been 2 to 1, then it would have jumped up. So I wouldn't have got the disruption. So there you go. But I can't really rewind that. That would be sort of taking things back. So I'm going to have to say that was my 3rd action here and not up there. So I was just looking back over this action, and I don't think it's that important, but hang on, were these guys here? Or did they move in as well, Grant? Because they only moved from... Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and check what happened, because I knew I used the last action, well, what I thought was the last action, to move that into there. I just don't know. I don't think they were there, so maybe they moved in as well. Yeah, so that I-38 and the tank that's with it moved in there after. We done the check for the tank, because I think the tank had to draw for breakdown. Maybe? I think, yeah, it did. So he had moved from here. Right, I mean, obviously if I'm going to overstack this hex, I'll not do that, but I'm going to move these guys back. Now what is in here then? Don't tell me it's reduced. It is reduced. That's a bummer then, because it would have been adjacent. Well, there's not a lot you can do about it, Grant. You've got to move that back, because you are cheating if you've took 4 actions if you do that. It's just that this guy wouldn't have the range, and we've got an attack on green from A18 here with a step loss. Actually, you will get support from the LVTA, will still be in there, and that, does green fire into there? No, it doesn't. So that doesn't work. That was more the reason to get that guy moved into there as well. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. Now, I'm not going to be in am I going to be in a stack situation though? Because if that's the case, I might not want to move these, because sure, you can understand me reversing that a little bit. So this is 3, 4, 5 steps. That's 9. Yeah, see, that's going to be 11 steps. However, what fires into there? Blue and brown. Well, we don't care. Because blue and brown, we've got control of blue, the blue position and the brown position. So there's not going to be fire in there. And we're not overstacking, we're just concentrating, I think. Yeah, because we're going to have... Well, we're going to have an LVTA and a tank. And then we're going to have this reduced infantry unit. I probably want to start like that. I want the one from the 1st Battalion shown on top. So that, and then that on top. So we've got 2 infantry companies and 2 other units. However, we do have 11 steps in that hex. So it's a concentrated hex, but like I've just said, there's not any dangerous fire into that hex. So if it had been the case, I would have maybe changed the movement with them, because I'm pretty sure you could understand me doing that. Okay, so we'll do that. That's a bit of a pity actually, because like I say, I would have really liked to get guys in challenging that green position. Now we've only got this, because even this behind, well, green doesn't fire in there either. It's the whole thing. If you're at range, having the field of fire sometimes causes you trouble as well. Well, I don't know, maybe we can... well, no, I was going to say talking about... well, actually, did we not put our regimental HQ in there? So maybe we could use artillery into that to support it. Anyway, we'll get around to that. That's for next turn. So that's clarifying that I've used my 3 actions, but yeah, it should have been done there. Right, let's get this part finished. Right, I can see that was a poor time to have went away, wasn't that? Because now I forgot everything that was going to happen here. Well, we made an attack on this. No, we made it on that, and then he withdrew. Yeah, I remembering now, I wanted to see about the possibility of trying to get something into here. I might be able to do it, however, I've got to disrupt this first, if I'm going to have any chance of doing that. So we've got to attack this first. So where were we getting our attack from? Yeah, it was that, because I had that down the bottom already. So that's 8 strength, and that's from 23rd Regiment. That's the heavy weapons from 23rd. So so as long as it's from the 23rd Regiment, but it's got to be from here, isn't it? Yeah, so it's got to be 2nd Battalion. And what are we shooting into here? Well, yeah, he's got a depth marker, that was the issue. So I think we're shooting with 2nd Battalion. So that's 15. And then... no, I can. Yeah, we can. Yellow does fire into there. 15. This feels more than I thought it was. Hope I've not made some blunder here. Because I could get support from that. Yeah, that's got step loss, fair enough. And yeah, that doesn't have range. So yeah, so I could get, I've got 15, but I could add the HQ. But was the HQ a possible unit that could move into here? I don't think I would want to do that though. I'd probably want to do it with the LVT. Yeah, that was a terrible time to took a pause, wasn't it? Because it was all fresh in my mind, and now I can't remember. Well, if we don't disrupt this, we cannot make the move. Yeah, because we're having to leave a steady field of fire. And of course, there's a chance that we might eliminate this and it will withdraw into here. Yeah, okay. So I think I can go ahead and attack with the HQ as well. And that's from the 2nd Battalion as well. Sorry, maybe just off camera there. He's in here as well. So, and then it leaves this company G. Sorry, I know I'm zoomed in too close there, and I have to move things out of the hex to see. And yeah, he can fire from range. So let's say 15. This would be halved. So that's an R2. So that takes us to 17. Yeah, that's a pretty good number. Getting above 16 is quite good. With a depth marker. Alright, let's just go with that, Grant. Let's keep it moving. Come on, keep it moving. And then if this all works, then yeah, we've still got a free move from that. I talked about that before. Whereas these HQs, if I'd moved that HQ, it then doesn't give this a free move. But however, I'm just attacking with it, so there's nothing to say. Oh well, I'm adjacent. Hang on, I'm adjacent to the regimental HQ anyway, so I've still got a free move from that. And the plan is to hopefully be able to move something from probably that unit there into there. But we need to do this. Right, so 15 plus the 3 half rounded up to 2, so 17. So yeah, let's do it. 17. Again, you've got these artillery points, Grant, but I don't... Because we are actually in command of the regimental HQ here, but no, 17's good. He's not getting he's got a depth marker. What could it be? If it's 4, you know what, even if it works out at 5, we've still got 3 times. Well, if we've got the weapons. But we do have a full strength. We do have all the basic weapons. So fingers crossed. But remember, we're just revealing the unit here, not the depth marker. So 17, yeah? 17. Right, let's do it. Right, it's only a 1, but it's 1 flanked. Well, you know what? That's what my major. What I really wanted to do there was disrupt it, didn't I? So I think we've achieved that. Oh, wait now. Well, maybe not. Right, sorry, phone call, as you probably heard. I've given up trying to cut these things out of the videos. It's not professional enough, so... Okay, yeah, I was thinking that would be good, and now it's maybe not going to be good, is it? Because we're... Oh, no, Grant. Oh, yeah, because it's got the depth marker. Right, so what have we got? We've got 15 against 1. So, yeah, I mean, it's 15 to 1 odds, but, again, you only get 3 to 1 odds. So, we've got 3 to 1 odds. Remember, this is Japanese unit and unrevealed depth marker. So we've got 3 to 1, however we don't have the flanking requirements, so yeah, that's going to be the GIX. Well, yeah, that's bad, because that's now not, we're not going to have it disrupted. That's rotten. So we're going to eliminate that depth marker, and that guy's going to be sitting pretty. So we'll chuck that back in the cup, because it's in communication. And now we cannot get anything into this hex. No, we weren't flanking. I'm just wondering, wait, now we've got me, you're not flanking. No, we're attacking from here and here, aren't we? And a bit of range from here, but that doesn't count. It's adjacent. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Okay. Yeah, so if I... Ooh. Why not attack that with a little bit less strength, Grant? I hadn't thought of that. Because if I attack that and kill it, destroy it, it's just going to withdraw back to there now. Yeah, because it's in communication. Whereas if I've got a unit into there, okay, well, actually... If we got a unit into there and it controlled that hex, this wouldn't be in communication, and we would get to eliminate it completely. However, the main thing I wanted to do was put something in there so it couldn't withdraw to there. I don't mind it going away and then going back to the reserves. Ideally, I'd like to eliminate it, but we can't now get anything into there. However, why don't I just attack it with and get a 2 to 1 result and disrupt it? That would be a smart thing to do, Grant. Okay, so he's in the woods. All these 4 units are in this hex. So we're getting a free action to do this. So we don't want a 3 to 1 result. Is this clever? Yeah, because it does mean he just retreats. He just withdraws into B13. And then he's got the chance to fire. Whereas if I disrupt him in his place, that's better, isn't it? Yeah. So I want to attack with 4 or 5 strength. Now hang on, we're getting halved. Yeah, I want the resulting firepower to be 4 or 5. I don't want it to go to 6. So that would mean, but we're halved into the wood. So I need 8 to 10 strength. So I mean that's 10. 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't work. I definitely need to get 2 to 1, don't I? Yeah, 3 to 2 is no effect. So I need 2 to 1. So I need either 8, 9 or 10 strength. So I'm probably better just going with A2, haven't I? The HQ and the company, infantry company. Yeah, can't really work it out any other way. I mean, okay, I could attack with this and this, I suppose. That's 8. Eight, which is cut in half, turns it into 7. Well, I suppose you should do that then instead. So I'm going to attack with A2. Again, free action from the headquarters for 8 strength, and then we'll leave these guys up top. Don't know if they're going to do anything or not. So 8 into there is cut in half, so it's 42. We've got 2 to 1 odds. We need to have the weapons. Yeah, it's a full strength infantry unit. We have the weapons, but we've only got 2 to 1 odds, so he's disrupted. So yeah, I hadn't really thought about that before. I don't know if I had the chance to maybe do that before, but with any other attacks. But there you go. It's just because it's a different way of doing things from the older games, isn't it? Okay, right. Let's move on. Get this bit finished because I can get another bit in today as well. And well, if it was to go smooth, I might actually get a couple of bits in because I've got the evening to myself. So I should get peace and quiet. Yeah, well, there was my phone ringing already, yeah, so there you go. Okay, right, pause and think, Grant, pause and think. Okay, I was just trying to work out where I can put these units along here, because obviously I've got these units to move still, and it's not really great. We need to be achieving this, what we think might be the victory conditions. To be honest, achieving 24 is, I don't know, it's possible? I don't know. Because I could, looking along this line here, I could have 1, 2, now blue fires into there, but it doesn't matter if blue fires into the actual hex, I don't think. I just need to be able to trace communication from the hex. So, yeah, if I've got a unit sitting in there, I can trace communication through this hex. I can't trace it through that hex because blue fires into there, but I could trace it through there, and then onto the beach. Bear in mind, we do need to take out this yellow position. Which, yeah, see, that's the other thing. Yeah, that's still. Can I? Ooh, no, I can't. I can't move into there with preservation move, can I? I need to get a unit in here or here, and here was the one that, if I'd disrupted it, would have worked. But yeah, you've also probably got this red position, but I think we could deal with that next turn. Looking along there, I could maybe get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, that one would be in steady blue. 12. And then once you go to that one, that one's intense purple. So that's 12 sort of hexes that might be doable. And I've got enough units to maybe try and achieve that. But then that's half of the 24 I need, right? I'm not getting anything adjacent to this, I don't think. So I think my realistic target is to try and get the 15, and hopefully that takes you on to the next, that carries you on through the campaign. So if we manage to get maybe 10 or 12 there, it's possible that we could achieve. Again, this yellow position needs to go. That's the one we tried to CC and failed. So this is the other part of the line that's possibly achievable, with being able to trace communication back to the beach. It's getting even, I suppose, if we took this green position out, there might be some scope for gathering a few there. Bear in mind, we've got one more action phase, Okay, I'm not finished with this action phase, and obviously this is what I'm thinking about just now, is placing units, because I look there, this is swamp. So to get a unit into that hex, I'd need to move, it's 2 movement 4. I can't move it in the 1er. So I need to move somebody into there just now. And then he wouldn't get a free command next turn because he's not Way's HQ. So, but, yeah, well, but. Whereas I could leave them stacked together and get a unit in there next turn, there, and there, and there from that hex. You know, is there 1, 2, he's a step wall. So there's 3 units in there. I could wait to next turn and go 1, 1, 2 for one of them, and then 1 in there, and then we've got 3 points there. So it's just if I wanted to achieve this hex, I would have to move something into there this turn. That's what I'm trying to get to here. But again, some of this other stuff doesn't get free action. Well, this will get a free action, so I want to get this up to here, I think. Right. Okay, Grant. Well, yeah, okay. So I've got 2 infantry battalions in here. One's reduced and a headquarters. They're all going to get a free move. This is into clear hex. So I could go 1, 2, and I could actually go 3 into here, which would then let me on the next turn move a couple units into these 2 hexes. This one's intense yellow, but I'm not so sure we're going to be able to take this out at all, but I could probably disrupt it next turn. And yellow doesn't stop us getting back. As long as we can get into this beach hex here, you know, well, yellow doesn't fire into here either. So there's communication back to the beach from all these positions. Well, nah, careful, Grant, because yeah, if I put a unit in there, sorry, you're not seeing any of that. If I was to get a unit in here, I was saying I can't trace communication through that hex because blue's still firing, and I can't trace it into that hex if yellow still is there. So that kind of makes that one out of bounds. This one's alright though. So yeah, I'm going to move these, the stack. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move them into there. So, right, pause, Grant. Right, yeah, these hexes aren't any use to me. This one here or this one here is not any use because I can't trace communication. Because yellow fires into here as well. So there's no point getting to them. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So possible 9 here. So I'm going to take this guy and move him. That's 2 movement into. I was going to say the road goes down there and into there, but actually, hang on, Grant. Hold that thought. Moving from there to there, there's not any issues with that hex. So moving from there to there would be 1 movement down the road. Now I enter steady blue fire there. But then the road goes into this hex too, so that tells me it would be 1 movement to move into there as well. So that would be 1, 2. However, because I'm leaving the steady blue, I would need to pay an extra 1 to move into there. But that's okay. So I think I can just leave these guys here. There's 3 units in there. So one of them's going to go 1, 2, 1 and then 2, 3. One of them's going to move into there for 2, and one of them's going to move into there. And then we've got these 3 hexes. Then some of this other stuff's going to... So that's 3 units, that's 3 units. So we need another 3, because I said there was 9 positions, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, right, they've got that, they've got them. So we need something else to go, but I think that's going to cost me an action. This wouldn't. What is that hex there? That's steady yellow. Are we moving from? We are. That's actually movement under fire. Moving from there to there with these guys. So So if they go up the road, 1, 2, yeah, actually they can get up right up there. Right, what have we got in here? We've got 1 unit and an LVT. He's going to be following the road though. Well, again, we got this thing. He's going to move into this hex with a railroad. That can't be right. I should have overrode that and said no. You don't need to check for breakdown when you're going up a road and you cross through a railroad. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Right, hang on. I'm getting muddled up. Where did he come from? Was he here? Or was he here? Damn. These were in here, yeah? K323. Yeah, okay, eventually found it. They are in B10, purple position. Okay, I thought I could give this an action to move these 2 units into here and then bring that guy up and have 3 units into there. But then I've got to give each of them an action to go to a different hex, haven't I? Well, hang on, Grant. If you give us an action now, why not get into the hex? Of course, again, if I give this an action, it's got to do the exact same movement, and I want them to move into different hexes. So yeah, can't win there, can I? Right, okay, come on. Do it. Right, I'm going to bring this up. I don't think I'm going to bother with that LVT then. No, let's not bother moving that. So free action, 1, 2, 3 into that hex. There, what did I say? No, hang on, I said this hex was no good, Grant. This one. Right, and then this guy's taking these 3, and then we want another. Yeah. So I'm going to give this an action then. I don't know if I need other actions, that's the thing. Oh, whatever. I'll leave that engineer there. I'm going to give this an action to go 1, and then 2 into here. So that's my second action over this turn. Then I think next turn I can spread these and get these 3 taken. I can get these 3 taken. I've got these 2 already, and I just need to move something into there. Okay? Right. Sorted. Ish. Right, okay. That's £1.5 grand. Okay, I've only got 1 action left. Been thinking about this a bit, and would like to move something into there. There's only red firing into there, steady fire. And remember, this is disrupted. So I started thinking about trying to shut this guy off. Because I've got control of that hex. Well, he can't trace communication through that hex. He can't trace communication through that hex at the moment. But he can through this hex. So I want something in there to stop that. But here, this tank is the tank. The LVTs or tanks or anything don't give their yeah, we would have to stop and moving into there anyway. Yeah, they don't give off, they don't control adjacent hexes. So we need 4 steps worth of infantry. So this would kind of, if I could get something else. Now I thought this engineer, so I think it means giving this my last action. And it also means leaving these other guys here. So I'm going to give this engineer an action to move 2 points into the woods, and then a 3rd point into there. Of course, the thing, if Brown fires and hits any of this stuff, was 3 steps enough? I think it was 3 steps. Infantry with 3 or 4 steps, or 2 US infantry battalion HQ or engineer units stacked together in any combination and possessing 3 or more total steps. So that's what I was trying to achieve. So I'm going to move him into there for an action. I'll put the action counter on him a second. And then, well, are we not better taking this tank with us as well, Grant? Although it's not. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, well, LVTA, I'll maybe move that in there as well. And that, which was the important part. Now we've got, at the moment anyway, this guy cannot trace communication. That was what I was trying to achieve there. And unfortunately that was my last action, so hopefully I don't need any more elsewhere. I was looking down here and most of this stuff, well, all of this is surrounding HQ, so yeah, right, let me have a look at that. I was trying to work out what I can do about the situation down here, because I think next turn we want to have a go at this. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but what else can you do? That's me using my naval gunfire point up, so I don't think I can get rid of the pillbox now anyway. Obviously, if I just took that chance that first time, everything would have been hunky-dory. But so I want a full battalion to be able to attack, and now that's a point. Where's the heavy weapons? Can the heavy weapons be added on top of the full battalion to attack? Okay, so yeah, page 17. This is number 4 of 8.1 units eligible to attack. All rifle infantry companies must belong to the same battalion. And then there's that exception that you can add something, but we need a hero for that. We need an NCO or officer hero. However, step number 5 is 1 regimental heavy weapons company may also participate if the attacking battalion is of the same regiment as the heavy weapons company. That's kind of, we want 3 battalion. Yeah, the 3 battalions attacking, and the headquarters and the heavy weapons company and some tanks. Yeah, you get where I'm going. And I don't know, I came across there's an engineer on there somewhere as well. Is there anything to say he can't join in? So let's see, where's the heavy weapons company for? So it'd be, what would that be? 25. Heavy weapons 25. Where's that about then? It must be on the map. Right, hang on. Okay, that's okay. That's him there. He's disrupted. He did take a step loss. However, he's in a reasonably safe hex. He's in steady green. So, yeah, sorry. Just off there. He's in steady green. He's disrupted, but he's not had a move yet. So he's going to be able to remove his disruption, I think. Oh, hang on. Right, I need to look that up again. Can he remove his disruption if he's adjacent to a disrupt? Surely. Yeah, we're still screwed. I was reading that. It's an important note. Units adjacent to a Japanese position and in an intense field of fire containing undisrupted Japanese units. So I thought, right, we're good. Or depth markers cannot recover from disruption. That feels wrong. That's like, that feels awful broken. Does it not? That I've got to sit there, even when this guy disrupted, because he's got a depth marker, and I can't remove my disruption. Oh, hold on a minute here. Right, come on. So I started thinking, right, well, can I preservation move this then? Right? But the rule for that is, get this, right? It's on page 15, it's under preservation move. Number 2. Well, let's read it. 7.3.5 preservation move. A US unit that meets the below requirements may conduct a preservation move as a free action if it meets the following conditions. The unit is in US landing beach hex. Right, well, it's not. Or is disrupted and adjacent to a Japanese position containing undisrupted Japanese units. Come on. That means I can't do nothing with that guy. I can't move him away from that because it's disrupted. And I can't remove my disruption because it doesn't matter if it's disrupted or not. That's crazy. That can't be right. So that guy cannot do anything. Because he's in the intense field of fire of red. And you think, well, but he's disrupted, Grant. Well, it says it there. It says he'd be able to do a preservation move if he's disrupted and adjacent to a Japanese position containing undisrupted Japanese units. So this guy would have to be undisrupted for him to be able to do that. And yeah, and I can't even take my disruption off because it doesn't. Oh, right. Something feels wrong about that. Because, okay, you could say to me, well, okay, Grant, you can't do nothing with that guy. Let's just take this guy out. Let's get rid of his depth marker so that then you've seen this. You've seen how strong a position that is. But should I have went in and revealed it and had a look at things and then started? But I mean, 3 times. I don't know. Maybe if they're both ones, Grant, 3 times 2 is only 6. Then you're into the woods. Yeah, that feels awful strong, like. Right, so I'm not going to get used to heavy weapons. So the best I'm going to achieve is I want to bring these guys in. So I'm probably going to be taking this tank out. Well, I need to move the tank out first, don't I? And then what I can do is bring in the headquarters and one of these other companies. So, well, you know what? That's what I'll leave C there. I'll bring in A. So that's what I'm going to do. And B is going to just stay there. So I'm not going to move that. In actual fact, I'm just going to turn these like that to say that I've moved them all, and that'll stop me thinking I've got something there. Now, at the moment, this... Actually, no, he can stay in there, Grant. Yeah. And in fact, no. We're allowed the HQ. Yeah, we're allowed the 2 battalions and one other... Yeah, okay, the tank, the LVTA stays in there as well. I was looking about to see if there's a tank that we can use as well, but there's one about to land. So I should really see where that's going to be. So now, that's about the best force I can get against that. And you could see if I was getting the heavy weapons as well, even at a step loss state, then it would be something. But I mean, I can only attack with all of them. Oh well, yeah, I don't need to move him yet anyway, because he can still get a free move from the... I might not even move him. Yeah, we do have a tank coming in. So ideally I want to make space to be able to land that tank. Well, remember, you need the field of fire, Grant. Does red fire into there? It does. So as long as it drops in there... I don't know what any of this stuff is. Is there any of this relevant to be able to attack? No. Because again, remember, it's got to be all from the same battalion. No. I'm looking for tanks or maybe engineers. There's nothing said that they are... See, there's an engineer there. There's an LVT, that's not... So... Can I get him involved somehow? He's going to bring an R2 strength. That's not any good. And that's not any good. So, yeah, the only other thing that I could bring in is that engineer. And we can only have 2 tanks. I remember reading that. There's a tank up there as well. 1, 2. You'd be moving down the road, Grant. He could get to here. Well, I'll put that LVTA in there. That's an action. We've used our actions. Right, I can't do that. Well, it's fine. I've got an LVTA in there. I'm assuming when it says 2 tanks can attack, that if you're using LVTAs, then that's going to count as a tank in that situation. So hopefully I can land this tank safely into somewhere there. Right, can I get that engineer in this stack then? Hang on. Alright, I would need to make a space, because there's 1, 2... No, can I not get that in? That's fine, Grant. Well, I'd have 8, 10, I'd have 11 steps in the hex. Well, do we care about that? Yellow's fine, blue's fine, red's disrupted. There's that risk of drawing the event again. Let's just go for that. So I'm going to move that engineer in there as well. And, sorry, this is stacked on top of this. So he's going to get that free action. So he's going in there. So let me sort that out. I'll put him down the bottom. And in actual fact, I'm not going to move these as well. So let me just... It's just if I've turned them that way, I've either made a move or I'm not wanting to move them. That just makes it simpler. And then this is the guy that's disrupted still. So we do have a, not overstacked, but a concentrated target there. But like I say, there's not any great danger. Right, so disrupted stuff there, whether it can be removed or not, probably not. I don't think this can get removed either, can it? It's the same situation. So, and this guy, well, he could do something, Grant. Well, and this, they're still getting a free action. So what do you want to do with them? Well, 325, is that not 325 here? Yeah. Right, I'm actually I think just going to keep these together. There's not any danger from this hex though, so... But this guy's HQ and his buddies are all in there, so I'm going to move them into there. Again, that's a free move from this. I think I might just leave him there. Because I don't think I've not got the movement. I looked at it, I've not got that. Sorry, I'm not showing you that one. I don't have the movement to get through this sugar cane. It's 1.5 movement, and then obviously moving from there to there as well is an extra movement point. So he's safe enough there. You know what? And I can't put him in that state. Hex is full, so I'll leave him there. Right. So that and that had an action. Okay, so what about the HQ then? The regimental HQ, are we happy where he is? I think so. Yeah, that's hopeless anyway. We want to be able to give all this. Yeah, I think we're keeping it where it is as well. Okay, don't think any more is going to happen there. So just briefly going back in here again, we don't have actions. I seen that it would have been a good idea to move that tank, but I don't have actions anymore. This is a freebie, but we're happy with where that is because we're going to make movements to try and take these positions. I think all these would require actions, which we don't have. Well, this one would get a freebie from that, but I don't know if I might be moving this, maybe. Maybe not, to be honest. He's adjacent to this. Yeah, I think we're probably leaving all that. Okay, I think we're done with normal movement. What I just need to look at is the HQs, regimental HQs, and then I need to decide about my disruption. Okay, so an hour and 50 minutes. Well, I mean, I could close it in with hopefully the last 10 minutes. Or I could stop now and restart at that. That seems a bit daft place to restart though, because it would be the end of the turn, Grant. Yeah, let's just finish this turn. Okay, my battery's shortly going to die as well. Right, I'm happy with that HQ. Oh, what's happened there? Let's nudge that. Happy with that HQ. I'm just going to leave that one. I get the feeling there's one in there, and I think I'd moved it, saying because I was definitely happy with it. And then the final one's up here. You know what? That looks in a pretty decent position as well. So let's just leave that as well. Right. So let's sort this disruption out. We can remove. He can't make a preservation move, but he can remove his disruption because he's not adjacent. He's in an intense field of fire. So that's that sorted. And let's look at something. I'll have to stand up here. Let me have a wee look. Yeah, we've got to remember, I can't do a preservation move. It's not in a beach hex, and it's not adjacent to an undisrupted Japanese unit in intense field of fire, is it? Anyway, it's not. So all I can do is remove disruption from that. Now these guys, yeah, they need to be adjacent to an undisrupted to make the preservation move. Don't know, that's crazy. That seems crazy. It's disrupted and adjacent to a Japanese position containing undisrupted Japanese units. So I cannot. Oh, hang on. These are in beach hexes, Grant. Right, let me see what's in these two stacks. Oh no, look what's happened. This big stack, right? It was in there. This is the one. This is the one that's got the HQ in it. I can see it there, 8th. I think they're all in that one hex. Let me try and fix that first. Right, I was just trying to work out what was all in here. That's with the sugar. I thought it was overstat, but I'm not. So what we had is we've got a one-step engineer. We've got a 3-step infantry. That's 4. And then we've got the HQ. And then the regimental HQ, and then this guy on top was disrupted. Sorry, I don't know if you can quite see that. He's reduced as well. So I think that's how it was. Yeah, I'm just undisrupting him. I don't know if I can. He's not adjacent, so yeah, I'm just undisrupting him. And putting him down the bottom as well. Okay, so I think that's that fixed. Now, back to, I'd knocked that down when I was looking at this. So this is on this hex. It's just that's undisrupted. This was on top. As in not having done anything. I don't have an action to move it though, do I? So, fair enough. Right, I'm just removing disruption from that too then. And I can start straightening these guys up too, can't I? Yeah, because I'm not going to go back thinking they've not moved, so that's fine. All I'm doing is try to remove disruption now. Yeah, so I can't move in, that's fine. Okay. Right, hang on, I can't remove disruption from that, can I? Because he's adjacent to a disrupted. It needs to be undisrupted. That rule seems wrong to me. I don't know what's going on there, and I can't remove disruption from this either then, because I can't do a preservation move with them. Oh, hang on, they're in the beach. So technically you could. That's what I just said, didn't it? Okay, I think I can do, let me get this LVT back. Right, these are all on the stack. Am I not right in saying I could do a disrupted preservation move from here, because it's in a beach hex, to here? Because I know I can't, it says you've got to avoid moving into a field of fire if possible, and you would never move into intense field of fire. Well, that's intense, so I can't move into there, and my guess is, That's intense as well, so I can't move into there. However, I could move into there, and this is disrupted, so I'm not doing movement under fire. So I think I'm allowed to do that. Because I can't remove my disruption, so I'm as well doing that. I'm going to go for it. We shall see. Right, now, well, the same here. I can't remove the disruption from... Actually, I'm wondering... I think these guys might have been... Yeah, they are disrupted. Sorry, they were in the close combat. My bad. They were actually that way, and it was that hadn't done anything, I think. And I don't know what to say. Are they not from the same? Yeah. Yeah, okay. We're just leaving them. I'm turning them round. None of that's moving. That's done its thing. Right, let's move on, Grant. So this guy here, he's a one-step engineer. He's in purple intense. Disrupted. So I could undisrupt them there, or... I think what's better is there's 3 units in there. Is to just because he's in a beachhead, I could preservation move him into there, I think. So I'm going to do that, so he stays disrupted. That's him done his thing. Okay. Alright, for these, this is I'm just going to remove disruption from this. I could preservation move it, but it would stay disrupted, so it's in a safe enough hex. So just remove that. I can leave them that way. Plus again, he's not moving. These 2 down here, right? So these have got issues, haven't they? Because they are in intense brown. Yeah, they're in this same position where they cannot. Hang on. No, Grant. This could preservation. No, that brown. That's intense brown in there as well. So he can't remove his disruption, and he can't preservation move because of where he is in the situation of this unit. No, hang on. Stop, Grant. This guy doesn't have a depth marker, Grant. The guy up there did, though. The guy further up did. When I was looking at that, he does have a depth marker. This guy does not have a depth marker, so does that not allow me something? Okay, here's the wording again. Important note. Units adjacent to a Japanese position and in an intense field of fire containing undisrupted Japanese units or depth markers cannot recover from disruption. And they have to be adjacent as well, remember, Grant. Right, well, we're okay here. Because these are disrupted and it doesn't have a depth marker. So I'm good with taking the depth markers off both of these because they can't make a preservation move anyway. Right, and I'm going to sort these stacks out. Okay, that's all tidied up. Right, moving on. Okay, I'm just removing disruption from that guy. Now this guy can't remove his... hang on, is that intense into there? Yeah, it is. So he cannot remove his disruption. He is adjacent to an undisrupted Japanese unit though. So he's better actually preservation moving out of there. Now he can't move into a hex, it's not in the field. Oh no, that's the same. So he's not really got a choice, and he can't preservation move into that, it's intense. All of them are steady, but it's unavoidable. So I'm gonna move him back in there then. He's gonna stay disrupted to Grant, member. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but oops, that should be like that, and that should be like that, I think. Right, okay, moving on. Okay, I'm actually going to preservation move this tank. This is a tank. It's in the beats. It's an intense yellow, so I'm going to put it in here, I think. So it stays disrupted, and these are good on top of it. So yeah, let's go with that. I'm just tidying some stuff up as I go as well, because that's me coming at the end. Right, what about this guy here? That's us hit 2 hours going. Ooh. There's an intense red and green. Now he can remove his, yeah, we'll just remove his disruption actually. So that's fine there. I'll tidy all that off camera anyway. Now just this last bit down here. Right, so disruption removal from this. However, we know we can't, because of this strange ruling, remove disruption from that or preservation move on, because this has got a depth marker, and I'm pretty sure this is the same situation. So somebody please tell me I'm getting that wrong, and we can do something about it. But I don't know, that's just what I'm reading. Now hang on, there's something else in here, Grant. We've got something that's disrupted. I'm going to tidy that up and that. Right, so this is disrupted in this hex. Sorry, maybe you can't see this. What is it? It's just an LVT. You know what, I'm just going to leave that down the bottom there. Yeah, because it's not adjacent. It's the whole adjacent part in it. Technically I could have moved him out of there. Well, red is disrupted just now. We'll just leave it. And like we said, can't do that, can't do that, as far as I'm led to believe. Well, this one's going to be the same, because this has got depth in it, isn't it? And it's disrupted. This is revealed. That's irrelevant, Grant, I think. I think that means we cannot... Yeah. It's an intense field of fire. Yeah, it definitely is. So it cannot remove its disruption, because this guy's got a depth marker and he's adjacent in an intense field of fire, and he cannot preservation move. So, okay. I think this is the final one. Now, these are disrupted, so... Or is it just him? Yeah, this guy's disrupted. We can straighten this up. So, what can we do here? Well, we can remove disruption. However, we could preservation move him. Not into here, that's an intense. We could preservation move him into there. Hang on. Yeah, no, that's red. Can preservation move him into there? No. Well, it would be intense, but it'd be a disrupted. Does that matter? I'm not sure, to be honest. It says you can't move in an intense field of fire, but the fact this is disrupted, but then I don't think I want to move adjacent to that anyway, because then these guys are stuck. So, yeah. Well, let's just remove his disruption, I think, Grant, because we can do that. So yeah, I'll just go with that. And that's that. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. It's becoming too picky. Right, I think that's me. Okay, so I'm going to go and tidy up all the units. We've got our stuff set to land. I think that's the end of turn. Move all cards. We've still got... I discard all my cards. Still got just over half the deck, so I don't need to shuffle. Move the turn marker. Discard pile. Phase marker. Well, my phase marker is a smoke marker now. So that goes back to Amphibious Ops phase. The end of the PM game turn. We're not quite there yet. So that's us moving on to game turn 4. Right, I'll get this done and dusted, and then hopefully going to come right back and keep going a little bit. Let me know your thoughts on this carry on not being able to do an awful lot with these guys. Seems a bit, I don't know, the fact you can't do anything with them seems a bit wrong, so don't know if I'm missing something or not. Let me know your thoughts, okay? Right, I'll be back soon, guys. Cheers.